Hey guys, it's Sarah from What a Nerd Girl Says. I'm here with the vlog today, and I know it's been a really long time since I've done one. I'd like to say I had like amazing reasons for not doing them, but basically I've been busy and lazy a little bit because these take effort and you have to edit, and I'm too lazy to do it. I've just, life has been crazy. If you guys follow me on Instagram or Twitter, any of that sort of thing, you guys have probably seen my life has just been crazy. I got a new job and just all kinds of stuff, but you guys probably know that. Um, but I'm making a vlog today to kind of talk about something that has been massively important to me for the past year, and especially so in the past couple months. For those of you that don't know, I'm an aspiring author, and I recently finished my first novel in a two-part young adult science fiction series. And my novel is called The Awakened, and it's very important to me, and I love it. It's my baby, and something that's been really, really cool is how amazing you guys have been about it. You guys don't know a lot about it, maybe a little bit here and there, but you guys are massively supportive, and it's fantastic, and it's amazing. Every once in a while I post little snippets or that sort of thing on my Instagram, and you guys just respond so well, and it's amazing. So many of you guys want to read it, which just blows my mind, because the idea that anyone would want to read my book is just crazy. But yeah, so it's been awesome. A few of you even became beta readers for me, and thank you immensely for the feedback, both good and bad, because, you need bad stuff too. But I mean, that's pretty much been, the center of my life right now. I've been editing and rewriting and re-editing and writing some more and editing and not editing and going on Tumblr instead when I should be editing. And it's basically taken over my life. So, to kind of, I don't know, maybe apologize for not being around as much as I could be, and also for just you guys being awesome and loving The Awakened with what little you guys know about it, I decided to do a quick little vlog today and read a chapter. It was really hard to choose a chapter because I don't want to do too many spoilers, and this one has spoilers. I mean, it's just going to. But I chose chapter 5. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the novel itself. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about, kind of what's happened before, so you know what's going on, and then we'll read the chapter. So basically my novel is called The Awakened. It's a young adult science fiction, though I like to call it sci-fi light, because I can't write complete science fiction. I write science fiction set kind of in like our world, because I need a basis of reality. It's about a girl named Zoe who is living in New York City. It's her senior year of high school. She lives with her dad. And next door to a boy named Ash, who she's basically madly in love with but can't admit it because he's a gigantic bully and he's sarcastic and cocky, and she just kind of wants to punch him in the face on a daily basis. But they're living in New York, normal as can be, when a virus hits, and it wipes out a third of the population in a matter of weeks. And nobody knows how it spread, nobody knows where it came from, nobody even knows what it is, and then there's no chance to find a cure because as soon as people start dying, the bodies of those people start disappearing. And it's kind of crazy. And so it's all scary, and it's panic, and some people are acting like the world is okay and nothing's happening, and some people are locking themselves up. Now, Zoe's dad is a police chief, and he tells Zoe that she needs to stay inside, and Ash stays with her to kind of keep her company, and, they stay inside to basically keep themselves safe from whatever is going on, although later we find out, zombies, but better because they're smart and fast, and they can talk and stuff, and it's awesome, because I'm awesome. Anyway, the point is, everything's basically in panic, and Zoe's stuck in the house because her dad wants her to be safe, and nobody knows how the virus is being spread, and they figure the best thing to do is to stay indoors. So what I'm reading you right now, chapter 5, is that Ash and Zoe had been at home, basically, staying at home, trying to keep safe, when Zoe's best friend Madison calls and tells her that, hey, they had tickets to go see a band that they like. And Zoe's like, well, we're not really supposed to go outside because we could get sick and die, and that's not good. But, if, when you read the story, you'll learn Madison's not the type of person to kind of listen, and she's basically already there. So the only thing that Zoe can do is, you know, go and get her because that's what she's got to do. So that's kind of where we are, is that Zoe and Ash are basically on their way to go get Zoe from basically being a dork and, going out when she shouldn't be. I don't know if any of that made sense, but yeah. When I post this on my blog, maybe I'll write what the novel's about and set up what it's about, and you can skip the first 5 minutes of this video. Yeah. Okay, let's jump in. This is chapter 5 of The Awakened by me. Okay, we made it down to the venue in no time at all. Ash paid the cover charge, and I handed over my ticket. I passed my coat over to the guy just inside the doors and hoped I'd get it back at the end of the night. Strictly Takeout. Best name for a band ever. Sorry. Strictly Takeout was already playing when we walked in, and I forgot my purpose for a moment. I had been waiting for this show for months, and now that I was here, all I wanted to do was listen to music and dance. They were my favorite band, and every time I saw them live, they seemed better and better. Plus, over the years, Madison and I had become friends with them. I looked forward to hanging out with them after the show. "This is your favorite song, isn't it?" Ash shouted at me. I turned to him surprised. "How did you know?" "I pay attention, Z," he shrugged. "Let's dance." I hesitated. "We came here for Madison." "Come on, it's one song," he said, walking backwards towards the crowd dancing in front of the stage. "Besides, Madison is probably in there somewhere, so dancing would only be helpful to our cause." I felt myself beginning to give in, and Ash seized his chance, taking my hand and dragging me into the crowd. I let myself be pulled in, feeling the beat of my favorite song flow through me. I wanted to dance. I wanted to dance so badly, even if it had to be with him. He stopped when we made our way to the stage. He took my shaking arms and wrapped them around his neck. His hands came to rest on my waist, and he pulled me closer, right up against him, every part of us touching. "We're too close," I shouted, swallowing hard. Ash leaned down, the cocky grin in place. "Don't be nervous, Dee," he whispered in my ear, causing me to shiver a little. He started off slow, his hips moving against mine, picking up speed to match the song. He was an amazing dancer, and my hands were too tight around his neck. Overwhelming warmth was spreading through my body. My hands loosened and traveled down his shoulders to his arms. I knew I'd come here for a reason, but I couldn't remember why. I couldn't think of anything except for the feel of his body against mine and the pulse of the music. "What would your girlfriend think of you dancing with me?" I said, breathless, when the song ended. He hadn't let me go. His arm was wrapped tightly around my waist, and his other hand was on my thigh, right below the hemline of my dress, pushing it upwards. "I don't have a girlfriend." I gave him an exasperated look, trying to ignore the fact that my hands were still gripping his arms tightly. "I don't," he repeated. "Not anymore." I suddenly felt uneasy about the serious expression on his face. Ash almost never looked like this, and it only made him look that much better. I started to pull away. Ash's hand shot up, and his fingers wrapped around the back of my neck, holding me in place. "Now where do you think you're going, Zoe?" He said, a small smile on his face. He was leaning down to me, and all I could think of was that he was going to kiss me, and that I wanted him to. I didn't care that he was Ash Matthews, or that I hated him, or that he made my life miserable. He was inches away from me, was incredibly sexy, an incredible dancer, and it had been a long time since a boy had kissed me. My heart was beating wildly in my chest, matching the beat of the song, and he was only a whisper away. Then a scream rang out above the music, and I knew exactly who it belonged to. Madison. I pulled away from Ash, my eyes wide. Madison. The band had stopped playing, and everyone was looking around in confusion. I started to push my way through, shoving people, Ash at my heels. I found Madison by the entrance of the restroom. She was sobbing, her hand pressed against her mouth, lipstick smeared across her lips, and mascara running down her cheeks. She was wearing a white lace dress, and she almost seemed to glow in the darkness of the club, surrounded by so many people dressed in black. A dark substance was spread across the front of her dress, and I realized quickly that it was blood. She looked like an angel, a beautiful, tiny, avenging angel. I reached out to her at the same moment that she vomited blood all over the floor. Ash yanked me back as blood splattered all over the floor. People behind us were starting to move quickly toward the door. I reached for Madison, yanking her to her feet, careful not to touch any of the blood. "Z, I don't think," Ash said. I glared at him. It's Maddie, Ash. Her skin was burning hot to the touch, and I spotted a few sores on the back of her neck. These were not good signs at all. Mad, how long have you been sick? Maddie. She whimpered, bloody fingers pressed to her stomach, leaving red fingerprints on the right fabric. Zoe, I don't feel good. All right, honey, let's go home, I said soothingly, trying to keep my panic under control. Madison was really sick, and I wasn't sure if it was too late to do anything about it. It was probably too late. It had to be. But I couldn't think of that right now. Ash, help me. Ash came immediately to Madison's other side and hoisted her up. We made our way out and into the cold air. It blasted me, sending shivers up my body. My coat was still inside, but I didn't care. It was chaos outside. People were frantically hailing cabs or heading to the subway. A few people were on the phone, and several panicked voices filled the air. We have to get her out of here, I said, looking around. We should take her to the hospital, Ash insisted. No, I said sharply. We'll take her home. Zoe. She's fine, I said, trying to keep the hysteria out of my voice. Someone shoved me from behind. He turned, eyes widening, when he saw Madison. He backed up quickly. Get her out of here. She's gonna die, he said, his voice shaking. I don't want to die, too. Hey, back off, Ash said, stepping toward the guy, his fist clenched. Ash, please, let's go, I begged. He looked at me and nodded, and the two of us grabbed Madison again and started pushing our way through the crowd. Blood was dribbling out of her mouth and down her chin. I picked up my pace. Madison couldn't be sick. She couldn't be. She's my best friend, my only friend, really, and she's perfect. She's beautiful and smart and fun and adventurous. She's the smartest girl in our class, without question, senior class president and head of the prom committee. She has the perfect boyfriend in Brody, and every day with her is a laugh, a party. We're supposed to go off to college in the fall. What on earth was I going to tell Brody? She couldn't be sick. She couldn't be. We hadn't made it more than a few blocks when a black van came screeching up next to us, bouncing on the sidewalk. Ashton and I froze in shock. 3 men jumped out of the van, wearing all black, their faces covered in surgical masks. They walked straight to us, determined, reaching for Madison. Zoe, Madison said uncertainly. Her voice was low and weak, and her eyes went wide at the men coming toward her. What are you doing? I demanded. Who are you? Don't worry, dear, one of them soothed. His voice was too sweet, and his tone didn't reach his eyes. We just want to help her. He pried He pried my hands off of Madison, and in one swift movement swung her into his arms. No, she's fine, I shouted. We're just going to take her home. Please. Another man stepped forward, a syringe in his hand, the needle looking sharp and bright in the faded light of the street lamps. No, I shrieked. Stop. I stepped forward, but Ash took hold of my arm, pulling me back. The needle pierced Madison's skin right in her neck as her eyes met mine. They stared at me, blinking a few times, until they closed completely. Her head lolled to the side, her lips parted. What did you do? I trembled. Is she... I couldn't bring myself to finish the sentence. She looked tiny in the man's arms, like a doll. Her skin was so pale, it was nearly blue. How long had she been like this? When was the last time I had seen her? She's fine. She's sick, the man said. We're taking her to the hospital. Fear washed through me. No, please don't take her. Leave her. Leave her with me. The third man, who had been standing off to the side, came over and grabbed my arm. He held me in place as they took Madison and loaded her into the van. I strained against him. No, Madison, please, please don't take her. The man shoved me, causing me to trip backward into Ash. Ash's eyes flashed, and he reached forward to peel the man's fingers off my arm. Don't touch her, Ash growled in a low voice. I got her. He pulled me away, his arm wrapped around my waist. The man's eyes narrowed, and he looked for a minute like he really wanted to hit Ash. Instead, he turned on his heel and got back in the van. Before I could react, the van pulled away from the curb and sped down the street. No! I screamed, straining against Ash's hold. Maddie! Zoe, let's go, he said, glancing around. It's going to be okay. We have to go home. It's not going to be okay. I ripped myself away from him and fumbled for my phone tucked in my bra. My bloody finger slipped on the screen as I dialed for my dad. Zoe! Dad's voice was frantic and worried. Zoe, where are you? Dad, I answered, choking back a sob. Dad, we went to go get Madison, and she was sick. I wanted to bring her home, but these people came in a black van and gave her some kind of shock, and they took her. Daddy, they took her. There was a long pause. Zoe, come home. Now. Daddy, is Ash with you? I nodded, and then remembered he couldn't see me. I was shivering in the late night. It smelled like rain, and I had left my coat at the venue. Yes. Tell Ash to bring you home right now. Ash nodded, having heard, and started pulling me toward the nearest subway station. But Maddie, Dad, they took her, I cried. His voice softened. I know, champ. Come home. We'll figure it out. Okay, I whispered, and hung up. The subway ride back was silent, the two of us having nothing to say. A few people gave us looks, but this was New York, and my frazzled hair, bloody hands, and tear-stained cheeks were nothing special. I couldn't stop shivering, the dead look in Maddie's eyes as they took her away playing over and over in my mind. Ash pressed his side against mine, allowing a little warmth to seep through me. We said nothing as we walked through our neighborhood on the way home. Ash walked me to the front door. He faced me, and when our eyes met, I felt the tears sting my eyes. Hey, he said softly, stepping closer to pull me against his chest. As if they had a mind of their own, my arms slid up and around him, my hands pressed flat against his back. It's going to be okay. I'm scared, I whispered. You don't have to be, he whispered back. I felt a buzzing near my hip and pulled back slightly. Sorry, that's me. He pulled his phone out of his pocket and answered. Hey, babe. It took a moment for the words to seep through my panic and my dramatics, but when it did, it hit me like a speeding train. I stepped back, horrified, feeling a flush spread against my chest. Ash's eyes met mine, and I felt an anger fill me up, making me shake even harder than before. I could feel the bile rise up in my throat. He had lied. I didn't know why he had lied, but he had lied. I know, I'm sorry, he was saying. I promise I'll see you tomorrow. I know. I've been really busy. No, it's nothing important. I gotta go. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I promise, baby. He hung up and slid the phone back into his pocket. He had lied. You're an asshole, I spat out, backing it farther away from him. Zoe, come on, he started to say, following me. I thought of our bodies pressed together, our almost kissed, and the fact that I had turned to him for comfort. Ash Matthews, for comfort, and I burned with embarrassment. He had lied. Get away from me. I placed my palms against his chest and pushed. He stumbled, a bewildered, hurt look on his face, but caught himself, and the look quickly disappeared. Of course it did. The arrogant smile was back. I hope you weren't too encouraged back there at the club, Z, he said smoothly. You're not exactly my type. I felt the words like a punch to the gut. I hate you, I whispered, humiliated. I had danced with him. I had let him touch me, and I had almost kissed him. And he had lied. And I didn't know why. I yanked my gaze away from his and turned, running into the house, straight into the arms of my dad. So that's the end of chapter 5. Just a little bit for you. Like I said, it's got spoilers because you kind of are seeing what's going on with Zoe's best friend Madison. And don't get discouraged about Ash. Ash can be an asshole at times, but he's going to have great moments, so, you know. But yeah, that was chapter 5. Like I said, a little bit of sci-fi. A lot of the sci-fi chapters are really spoiler, so I didn't want to read those. But I hope you liked what I did share with you. It was very little. And please watch. Please thumbs up or share or whatever. Because the more that I can get you guys excited for the book, the more that I hope that people will be excited to represent it. And that's the most important part. Because I really want to see The Awakened in bookstores. Because I want you guys to be able to read it. That's the most important part. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed chapter 5 of The Awakened. Maybe I'll do more later. Always check on Instagram. I'm constantly posting. And yeah, hopefully I will be back doing vlogs really soon, guys. I love you all so much. I'm gonna get emotional. But really, thank you guys always for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and hopefully I will see you all soon. Alright. Bye, guys.